Assalamualaikum. Today, we are going to learn about case studies and how to use them in our teaching. Case studies has been used for years by businesses, law, and medical schools. For instance, in business management subjects. Every day, we look at real business problems. Rather than learning from lectures, we learn from the past failures and successes of the real companies. Students are expected to draw on life experiences to come up with what they think the ideal solution at the end of every class. And it might not even be a right answer. Ultimately, a case study is simply an interesting problem with many correct answers. Case study teaching involves the use of real-world situations as a basis for learning. With case study, students can review real-life case or problem scenario. Education research has shown that case study helps students to develop analysis, synthesis, and decision-making skills. I use case studies often in my classes because they are a great way to pull together multiple issues related to context and put them into the real-life context. The major advantage of using case studies to teach is that the students are actively engaged in figuring out the principles by abstracting from examples. Since many students are more inductive than deductive reasoners, which means that they learn better from examples than from logical development starting from basic principles. Students are more likely to connect with course content when the content itself feels relevant to real lives. So, the use of case study can be a very effective teaching and learning technique. Okay, like other forms of problem-based learning, case studies can be a useful method in many subjects, different study levels like postgraduates, undergraduates, or diploma levels, and can be interdisciplinary. Case study can be inherently appealing to students because they have a true-to-life feel that help to bridge the gap between theory and practice. Presenting abstract concepts in a compelling way can be challenging. Therefore, before we start, it might be helpful for us to know our audience or students in terms of their levels of understanding or exposure on the real-life context in the perspective of the specific topic. Normally, case studies engage students to work on ill-structured or complex and realistic problems or issues. We normally allow students to explore the topic and use critical thinking to come to a solution or decisions and actions rather than relying on the instructor to explain the problem or issue and report the solution. Case study teaching basically puts the instructor in the role of coach rather than information deliverer and puts student in the position of decision maker. When implementing case study teaching, first, you need to craft your case. When writing or selecting cases, consider the good cases. Tell a real story with an interesting plot. Focus on the thought-provoking issues. Promote empathy with the central characters. Often contain elements of conflicts. Lack an obvious or clear-cut right answer. Encourage students to think and take position. Demand a decision and are relatively concise. Like all evidence-based teaching, case study teaching requires that learning objectives are defined first, and that the objectives for analyzing a case align with learning objectives for the course. The instructor then presents students with a problem or issue which typically includes more information than necessary to solve the problem, just like real life. The instructor can also provide supporting materials that would be useful for understanding and making decisions about the case. such as data graphs, websites, journal articles, images, figures, or videos. Alternatively, students can be tasked with finding these resources. The instructor also presents questions before, during, or after class to get students thinking about the case and structure discussion about the case with questions or prompts.